Hey traders, what's happening? Jamie Saettele here. It is May 19th, 2020, a Tuesday, and we are going to look at the British pound today. So we've got a five-wave rally, just as to review, a five-wave rally from the March low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, perfect Elliott impulse up into the April high. Okay. From there, we were thinking we were going to get a correction, and we have, and we did. Corrections can take many different forms, right? Whereas an impulse is quite simply a five-wave move to the upside. Corrections, you can get flats, triangles, zigzags, what have you. This is just semantics, really, but this would be labeled rather than A, B, C, it would be labeled as W, X, Y. It really doesn't matter for trading purposes. I just mentioned it to be correct in the nomenclature, but the reason it is that way is that all the waves here are corrective. Okay, so you've got three down, overlapping, three up, and another three down, right? A, B, C. So each leg consists of a correction, right? That is why it's labeled as such. So what that means is that we are in the third leg of an impulse, okay? Or even if it's just a correction. So this is either a C leg higher or a third leg higher, right? The minimum expectation, therefore, would actually be two legs up from this low. That takes you all the way up to 133.13, which is just a hair above that high from whatever the day that was. That was actually December 31st. So essentially our minimum target for this is 10 big figure moves. So you're talking 1,000 pips off of that, right? That's where we're looking. Now, if it's a third wave, we're actually talking all the way up towards 141, which, incidentally, I'm just doing this now live on this video, would actually be the upper parallel of this fork from the September low. And that's another thing that I wanted to highlight here is that you can see this fork that's drawn. I think I presented this in a video before, but what you've got is the perfect touch on the median line, right? That suggests that this is operable. And then the next parallel that you were supported on down here, I suppose that would have been on Sunday evening, where I am at least. That crossed right through this level here. So that is where the circle is. So that we call it former resistance providing support. It gives us essentially strong, confidence in trading this parallel, right? So there's going to be pauses and whatnot along the way. Obviously, what we care about right now is that we know we have a good tradable low down here and a good bullish opportunity. So what we want to do then is we want to look for levels that we could get solid entries on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to a 10-minute chart first. Actually, before I do that, why don't I bring in some volume charts, a little different stuff here. And what we have here, you can see we had a blue bar here yesterday. This is based on my volume reversal logic. And if we go back a couple of years, you can actually see that the last volume reversal we had on British pound was actually January 2017, which is obviously a big low. You can even see that the reversals you had on the downside were at interim highs. And this one was at a huge high back in Jan 2018. So we have, just add more evidence, right, to the bullish setup that we've got here. All right, let's go into a shorter term chart. This is volume this is a 60-minute chart. This is volume weighted average price, this line from the high back here on April 30th. We're actually getting close to it. So that's going to be 23.16 on futures, and currently futures and spot, I believe, are more or less the same. They're more or less the same. So essentially you're thinking just above 123, which is 20 pips from now, that could see some resistance. And this is volume weighted average price from the low from this week, right, early in the week. And there we're looking for support probably at some point, and that's currently going to be 21.93 where it is now. If we take our sweet time getting there, it's probably going to be a little higher. So those are just good things to know. We're coming into volume weighted average price resistance, or VWAP resistance. VWAP support would be a little bit lower. All right. Now I'm going to bring in seasonality. This is British pound seasonality, which you can see we've tracked pretty well much of this year. And guess what? This week is actually when things turn bullish on for British pound from a seasonal perspective on the 20 and 30-year look-back periods, right? 30 years here, you can see we've been following it just beautifully. High, low, during the strong period up, weak period down. So again, a lot of information here to suggest that British pound is bullish and a buy. So now we're going to go to a 10-minute chart, okay? So what I've done here is I've zoomed into this 10-minute chart, and we've got what I would classify as an impulsive rally to the upside, maybe just about done, right? 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up in 5, with 5 being 5 waves itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even a little triangle here. This consolidation that we've had since Europe last night, a little terminal thrust here today. So, taking it back a bit more, let's go to like a 60-minute chart again to highlight the support. All right, so here we go. So support, I'm thinking if we do pull back from up here or just a little bit higher, as noted, that 23.16 or so area in volume weighted average price, we would be thinking or looking for support for the next low, probably around 21.70s based on this method of analysis. And remember, the volume weighted average price from down here, right, was currently 21.93. So if we pull back some, over the next day or two, you'd be looking to buy, or I will be looking to buy, probably between 21, call it 70, and 21.90 or so, right? So there you have it. Great British pound setup on the long side. And we are, really combining several different methods of analysis to arrive at that conclusion. We have Elliott, right? We've got seasonality or seasonal tendencies, and we are looking at this, to try to hone in on the levels, right? It's one thing to be bullish. It's another thing to have a decent setup to take advantage of that bullishness. And we are using volume weighted average price as well as just prior support resistance levels, basic market analysis, basic TA, to pinpoint where we want to buy British pounds. All right, so that's it. Again, to summarize, bullish British pounds here and looking to buy weakness over the next 1 to 2 days likely, with substantial upside really over, the next couple of months really, throughout really from here. The seasonal tendencies are, go through July. So it could be quite the summer for the British pound based on what we've looked at here today. All right, so that's it for today. Again, Jamie Saettele here signing off, and have a good one. Good trading. Bye.